Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's video we're going to be going over Jeep's new EV, and then we're going to give a quick update on Ram's new EV truck as well. With that being said, let's just get right into the video. Let's talk about these updates with Stellantis. So first off is the new Jeep EV. What we know so far is that this will be released for the 2023 model year, most likely. That's kind of what they're shooting for. We don't have a whole lot of other information. It's a Jeep, and it will probably be the size of a Compass is what a lot of sources are thinking, but again, there's nothing confirmed. Now the next thing that's coming from Jeep is the new Wrangler EV. That's already been released, or not released, announced. 2024 is when that will come out, so that is pretty interesting. And on top of all of this EV talk, Stellantis in general is saying that they want to release 100 new EVs across all of their brands by 2030. And on top of that, they say that they want 50% of their vehicle sales in the US to be EVs by 2030, and then 100% to be EVs in Europe for their vehicle sales. So pretty big thing, but that's what's happening. If you guys are wondering in terms of what they're going to be going for with what we've talked about so far with these EVs, Wrangler EV, and then also this smaller SUV that will be released first, they're not going for anything crazy from a performance standpoint for the smaller EV. It's going to just have a moderate range, moderate acceleration, and all that kind of stuff. They're just trying to keep this affordable. So this will basically be a more affordable Jeep EV SUV. As for the Wrangler, performance is going to be a lot more important. So you guys know we already have the Wrangler 4xe, and that has pretty respectable performance figures. It's got 375 horsepower, it's got 470 pound-feet of torque. That's a plug-in hybrid. So this new Wrangler EV is going to basically be better than that. So expect power figures higher, so probably at least 400 horsepower, and then probably at least 500 pound-feet of torque, and a decent range. And it'll be pretty interesting to see how that actually all comes together, because think about these off-road vehicles like the Wrangler, and this is just kind of going off on a little bit of a tangent before we get into the rest of the video, is that range is very important for those vehicles, and being able to fill up is very important for those vehicles, like very easily, basically. Because you think about it, like here in Utah at least, there's a huge overlanding community. People go out for days with these vehicles, and they bring extra fuel tanks and all that kind of stuff. If it's electric, you can't do that. So I don't know, it'll be interesting to see if people end up adopting it. And then I guess on another side tangent, there's been quite a few issues with the Wrangler 4xe reliability-wise. So yeah, I don't know. Anyways, moving from that, let's get to the Ram side of things. So first off, we're going to get a Ram ProMaster EV 2023. We don't have a whole lot of other information on it. This is another one that I guess I'll throw a little bit of Ben Hardy opinion into it. I think this one's going to be adopted by a lot of companies because there's a lot of companies that because they're branding and everything, they want to show that they're trying to move forward. And so you'll see companies buying these vans. But for your regular small businesses that use cargo vans, I don't think there's going to be as much adoption, because again, if you're having to constantly sit there and charge the van all the time, then that could be costing the business money. Think if you need to ship something from one of your locations to another and your cargo van's out of battery range, right? And you have to sit there and wait for, an hour for it to charge up, right? That's money. Whereas if you could just fill up with gas quickly and then go, right, that saves you time, which saves you money. So that's my guess with the, and this just goes across, all cargo vans that are fully electric. I think larger companies, like something like Amazon, for example, because, they've already made a big commitment to buy a bunch of electric vehicles. I think you'll see commitments from those big companies to that kind of stuff. But I think your small businesses that'll only buy, one of these vans, or maybe, have a fleet of 3 or 4, they're probably still going to stick with the gas-powered vans, or if they have a hybrid van, they're going to stick with that because of just all the stuff that, we need to improve with electric vehicles. Now, the exciting news that you guys are probably here for is the Ram 1500 electric pickup truck. 2024 is when it's going to be released, most likely. And Ram is saying that this is going to be the best electric pickup truck ever. They're saying that it's going to be better than the Rivian R1T, the Ford F-150 Lightning, Chevrolet Silverado EV, and the Tesla Cybertruck. They didn't include the Hummer EV in there for some odd reason. I wonder why that is. But anyways, they said that this is going to be better with range, with towing, with payload, with charging time. It's going to beat all of those trucks on every single aspect. And I have commented on this time and time again in several videos that I've made in the past, where Ram does this where they wait and they see what other people release, they see what other people have issues with, and then while they're developing their truck, they go, oh, that's good, oh, that's bad, we'll do this, we won't do that, right? And so they're doing that with this new Ram 1500 EV, and so when they finally release it, yeah, it's going to be late to the market, but it's going to be a very polished product, and it's going to pull people from all of those brands, I imagine, because people are going to be like, I'm sick of this issue with my Cybertruck, if the Cybertruck ever gets released, frankly. But more realistically, I'm sick of this thing with the Rivian, I'm sick of this thing with the Ford F-150 Lightning and the Silverado EV, right? And Ram's like, hey, guess what? We fixed that problem. Come to us. Think about when they released, again, the 2019 Ram 1500, and it fixed a lot of issues with other trucks, and so they stole a massive amount of the market. And that is pretty much everything for our updates on the EVs. So basically just expect a bunch of EVs to come out from all of the brands that are under the Stellantis umbrella. Again, 100 new EVs by 2030 is their goal, and they want most of their vehicle sales to be with EVs. And so we'll see if that's a misstep or not. I want you guys to let me know what you think about that. If you think that them focusing so much on EVs is a good idea, or if you think that they should take an approach where they, obviously build EVs, but they still focus on their gas-powered cars as well. Kind of what we talked about in the last video with Ford, where they're splitting their brand in half, where they have part of their team focusing on EVs and then part of their team focusing on the gas-powered cars. Should Stellantis do this same thing as well? Let me know. I'll see you guys.